This is a recipe I'm trying today. One of the guys I work with actually told me about it. His mom used to make this. Um, Very simple. Onion, a little bit chicken broth or stock or water, 4 chicken thighs, some uncooked rice. That's essentially it, and a little bit seasoning. So first thing I'm gonna do is get the onion diced up. And for the onion, I like to leave the root on it and just kind of slice it down. And then I just kind of make slices like this down it. And I'll try not to go all the way to the end. That way it kind of stays together. And then when you turn it, you can dice it. And I'm not going to do this very, not a small dice. I mean, you know, like a medium dice. So let me get all that done. I'm using 2 onions. We're going to be cooking this in my black iron skillet today. Make sure your chicken is dried off. And this is some of the chicken fat that I cut off the thighs. And we want to render this down. And I'll also be adding 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Maybe been about 5 minutes. I went ahead and seasoned my chicken with my Cajun seasoning, 1 teaspoon. Now we'll go ahead and add this, skin side down. And the key to this step is we really want to brown the chicken and get some of the nice brown bits stuck to the bottom of the pan. So this is going to be a little while. Like I said, basically we want to get the chicken real brown at this point, both sides. We've done about 5 minutes now. We'll go ahead and turn all our pieces over. And we'll just continue to let this side cook for about 5 minutes. Alright, been about 10 minutes now total. Go ahead and flip it again. And we'll brown the other side a little bit more. And this dish is, we basically want the griots to form, which is all the little sticky bits at the bottom. So some of these big pieces of skin, I'm going to go ahead and trim off, and I'm going to add that to it as well as it cooks. So I had to put another grease screen catcher because my one wasn't doing the trick. But as you can see, these are some of the bits of the skin that I cut off to help make the griots at the bottom. And it's been about 16 minutes so far. Like I said, I'm just letting it cook on a pretty low flame, and I'm just turning it every 5 minutes or so, trying to get a good brown on it. Alright, we've been about 20 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken and take it out. And I'm going to take a little bit of the grease out because it's got quite a bit that formed now. Maybe we really don't need all this grease in our pan. So just kind of turn on the edge, and I'm not gonna get rid of all of it, but just some of it. We gotta leave a little bit for the onions. So I'm gonna leave about that much in there. I guess I removed about half of it. Now at this point we'll go ahead and get our onions to brown. And I left the griots in there. That's where we're going to get all the flavor from. Just make sure when you're doing your chicken for the first 20 minutes, you don't have your fire up too hot because you don't want to burn anything. You just want to get it brown and crispy. So now we'll saute the onions for a little bit just to get them nice and translucent. So as you can see, all the griots in there kind of coming up. And once you put the onions, it'll kind of deglaze the pan. So anything that's stuck, which actually we did pretty good. Nothing really stuck too bad in my black iron skillet. And this is one I have a lid for, so you'll need one that has a lid when we get to further down when we add the rice to it. because you gotta let it simmer on low to cook the rice, because we're adding the rice to it raw. So let me just continue to let these cook. Alright, we've been about 30 minutes. Like I said, keeping my fire on a pretty low heat the whole time. Because once black iron gets hot, I mean, it stays pretty hot. So that's how we're looking. Had a nice little brown forming on my onions now. And I think at that point we're pretty good. Let's go ahead and add my liquid to it. That's a half a cup of my broth. I'm going to go ahead and kind of deglaze the pan. And we'll go ahead and add our rice to it. This is a half a cup of my white basmati rice. Kind of mix that in. Might not be enough liquid, so I'm going to add a half a more cup of the broth. And now we'll go ahead and add our chicken back to it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and cover it. And we'll let that simmer on a low heat until the rice is cooked. So we have been about 5 minutes since I put the rice in. And I'm going to add a little bit more liquid. This is a fourth of a cup of water, because it wasn't quite enough. And I think it'll be good now. We'll go ahead and recover it. And like I said, just let it simmer on a real low heat. I gave the gravy a little taste. We're about 43 minutes in the cooking now. And that's basically from when I started. This is a fourth of a teaspoon of salt. I tasted the gravy and it needed a little bit salt. And I'm also going to grind a few grinds of just black pepper into it. I think it needs it. The Cajun seasoning was just to get it started. So at this point I'm going to get all the seasonings right in it. And the rice ain't done yet. We just couldn't continue to cover it and let it cook. And I went ahead and turned it. Kind of stirred everything around a little bit. Been about 47 minutes now. I did it around the 45-minute mark. So just to get the other side, you know, where it soaks in some of the juice as well. And the rice is not quite done, and I got my fire on a very low heat. So that way it won't stick. And we'll just keep letting it cook. Alright, so basically since I put the rice in, my fire has been on the lowest setting I got. It's done. It's been about an hour and 10 minutes of total cook time. Some green onion tops I'm going to put in. And I'm going to just cover it, let it go maybe another couple more minutes just to get the green onion tops a little bit wilted. Maybe about 3 minutes. And we'll be done. Alright, everything's done. Cut a little piece of the chicken off. Everything's perfectly cooked. Give it a little taste. Ooh, that's good. Pretty neat way to cook chicken. Add the rice and everything to it. I'm digging it. Nice little skillet dinner. Salt's good in it. Yeah, tastes very good. Delicious.